How's it, bros and girls? Fantastic to see you again. Sorry, no tits and strippers at my end this year. It's a bit of a low-key event. Maybe I'll get the missus to give you a flash. For those of you who don't know my head, I'm Captain Caveman. I'm famous for not dying at Wallerman twice. Yep, the first time I landed in the cave, spent 25 hours stuck in there. And the second time, I went in on line stretch at the falls. Sadly, that was my last jump, and I hung my pooster up to dry forever. But I'm back in another way, podcasting, and I'm hitting you cunts up for stories. So at the end of 2020 last year, I hit the road on the East Coast for a podcasting tour. And I know a lot of you guys were watching through our Crackbook page on the Aussie B.A.S.E, and it was epic because I got a lot of support and a lot of encouragement, which, you know, is exactly what I need. Because I tell you, rounding up old base jumpers is like fucking rounding up a herd of elephants or something. Old grey elephants, actually. But thanks to their supportive partners, I managed to pull off 16 podcasts and 22 parties in 5 weeks. Yes. And I got a chance to talk to old school base jumpers like Steve Dines, who talks about the methodical ways that he approaches base jumping back in the day. Marco and Ace Cool are both mentors and legends in their own right. Soot and Chris Coppart, although I'm not sure really what to categorise these guys at because legends has already been taken. The Thomas brothers, the first brothers of Aussie B.A.S.E. Fast Al, Tree Boy, Syphilis. Not only do these guys have the best nicknames in the ABA, but they can reminisce on time like no other. Tom Bejic breaks down the science of jumping and the experiments him and Dwayne got up to back in their heyday of Aussie innovations. Pooh Smith and revolutionising the sport with the Pooster. Feegs on how to snap yourself and stay positive. Holly and Wildy, best friends, and why base jumping is so much fun and not just the jumping bit. I also have lunch with Nick Vateris, one of our iconic trailblazers. I managed to speak with the new school jumpers, the likes of Jed Smith, Sammy Rohan, Gary Goodtime and Mark New, Jeff Wetherill and Shay Biles. Yeah, and these fellas took me out to some of their sites, and you know, it feels so good just to be back in the field, even with camera in hand. Fucking base jumping missions are so much fun. Then there is what I call the everlasting members of Aussie B.A.S.E. You know, people like Brendan Liss, who was one of the 3 Aussie B.A.S.E. brothers from the late 80s, early 90s, still jumping today. We've got our safety officer Ferrell, who would still be dealing in poosters if he could. Gary Penglis, who has been in and out of the saddle since 1986, but has some epic stories and epic knowledge still today. You got Gary Cunningham, our president, who through all the odds is back in the air. And Carly Thomas, one of my mentors and the inspiration, who has been jumping for over 35 years. It's our history and our stories which creates the culture. It's an opportunity for us to all appreciate what's been achieved. 2022 marks 50 years of Aussie B.A.S.E. in Australia, so there is no better time to tell our story. This podcast has been a pleasure to be a part of. And it's also a way to create active research for the purpose of the Aussie B.A.S.E. documentary series, which is what Doogs has been working on, and others for like years now. The podcast and the documentary series are relatively large in scale in regards to post-production costs to make it look and sound good. I'll be pitching a crowdfunding video by the end of this year to assist with the editing, the audio, graphic design, the web design, and all the things that we're going to need to make this a professional production. Either way, let's make this happen. Don't feel shy, reach out, say good day, and have an epic night, you cunts, and I'll see you in front of the microphone soon.